The latest generation of LUMIX cameras have a feature called false color built into them. Let me show you how it works. Into the menu, under the gear menu, and then monitor display, you'll find false color. There's only two things in here, to turn it on and also the false color index. This is the kind of thing that over time you won't need to reference. You'll get used to the colors, you'll know what they mean, but for now it's handy to be able to reference this. The colors indicate the exposure level. Purple is 0 to 2.5%, and that's considered black clipping. At that point, that means that there is absolutely no data in the shot. You have clipped the shadows, it's gone. Next up is blue from 2.5 to 4%, and that's labeled as just above black clipping. So this tells you that if you start to see blue, then you know you're on the edge of getting to clipping, and so you probably want to be real careful. Then you'll see there's nothing between 4 and 50%. Once we look at the actual false color, you'll see that that is just gray on the screen. Then from 50 to 54% is 18% neutral gray, and so on. Now the chart that we're looking at right now is for one of the fixed color profiles, not for log. If you go into log, it looks a little bit different. We'll see the index no longer has the numbers, but it does have the same colors. So again, purple is now a noise floor instead of clipping. The blue is edge of shadow detail, then green is 18% middle gray, and so on. An important thing to know here is that pink one stop above 18% middle gray, is generally considered the ideal place for skin tones. So many people who use false color use it to focus on the skin tones. If there's people in the shot, as long as there's pink on the skin, then you know that you've got the right exposure for the skin tone. And then it goes up from there to yellow and red. Red is 1/3 stop below clipping in Vlog, but in the other modes, it is identified as just clipping. So now let's see what this looks like in practical use. I have this gray card here that is being illuminated by this little LED light, so we have a pretty smooth gradient from the brighter to the darker edge of the card. We'll zoom into that, and I'll enable false color. Go back into the menu and press the start button, and that brings up false color. But this is a pretty inconvenient way to do it. If you're going to be using this feature all the time, then you should program false color into one of your function buttons. I barely use the under overexposure button on my camera, so I've already programmed that one to false color. So I'll go ahead and press that to activate false color, and we now see that green band in the middle of the card. Again, the green band is 18% neutral gray, so for a gray card, that's perfectly exposed. I'll start by bringing it darker, and as I bring it down, you'll see that the frame gets eventually blue, and then finally purple. Completely and totally gone information. As I bring it up the other way, we get back up to that green, and then if we keep on going, we'll see that we can overexpose it to the point where yellow is just below clipping and red is clipping. Over time, you'll get to know the colors and you won't have to reference a chart. But the most important thing to know is that green is 18% gray and pink is skin tones. The yellow and red mean you're really, really bright, and the blue and purple means you're really, really dark.